We're going to go ahead and get started. Just like to welcome everybody out to our first leadership training of the year. We've started something a little bit different. We started back in October with our new curriculum, and we're going to lead right into that tonight. Just a couple, well, probably more than a couple announcements before we get started. First of all, hopefully everyone has got their conference announcement in the mail. Conference this year will be June 9th and 10th. It will be at the Wyndham Hotel in Tulsa. And you guys will be receiving more information on that as it gets closer about booking hotel rooms and things like that. Yep. Yeah, we'll be sending that out in the mail as far as what to do, how to call them. But if you call up there, they'll know who we are because we've been up there recently talking to them. Just upcoming training for next month. Next month there will not be a cultural training. It's on Valentine's Day, so Donnie has decided not to do one that day. Then Thursday, it's actually the Thursday before that. Since February starts on a Wednesday, the Thursday before that will be our webinar for our technology webinar. There's not going to be all this going on. We won't have food or anything like that, but we'll be doing it online on our YouTube channel, and you guys can tune in live or watch that archived. Starts at 6 p.m. on Thursday, the second Thursday, which I believe is the 9th. The 9th. So it'll be 6 p.m. We'll be doing the webinar. This time will be Microsoft Word. Microsoft Word will be the technology Thursday this time. Then we don't know about a history training for this month. We usually have a history lunch and learn on the third Thursday. We're not sure about that this month yet. We'll get more information on that to you as we can. And then again, the last Tuesday of February, we'll be back in here for our leadership training. I'll be doing it over interpersonal communication. So this year we're trying to focus more on personal growth so that you guys can be as effective as you can be in your organizations rather than organizational type trainings. Anything else? Oh, yeah, I have one more thing before we get to Patty. I've been bombarding most of you folks with emails concerning several different things, but one of those things is that we need to make sure everybody emails me a public contact. Most of you in this room have done that already, but if you have not, we need a public contact for your organization that we can put on Cherokee Nation's webpage. Because sometimes people need to get a hold of you guys, and you guys know that we keep your information very, very private. We don't just give it to anybody that asks. We don't give it to anybody that asks, actually, without your consent. So we need a public contact for each organization so that we can have that consent to put that out in case somebody needs to contact your organization. Most of you in this room have already done that. The last thing before we get started is me and Chris have finally got some help. We have hired someone new to help us who actually has more experience at doing this than the two of us combined. This is Patty Mitchell. She is a Cherokee citizen, and was born here in Oklahoma, but she has been living abroad the past several years. If you count North Carolina and Florida abroad, she's been living out of the Cherokee Nation for the past several years and has come back to join our team as a technical assistant specialist. And we hope that we hope that you guys will learn a lot from her as we already have. So now we're going to get started. I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Chris if there's nothing else.
I think that's it.
Thank you.
Okay. Evening, guys. Everybody get enough fried chicken and carbohydrates and things that you need to stay awake for this evening? All right. That's great. I'd like to welcome you guys, and please correct me again, Brad, if I'm wrong when saying this. Gadel'tiqua. I'm learning. That is our new training series this time. In the past we've worked a lot on organizational training and community organizational training, how we can be better at what we do in our organizations. This year we're going to focus on the individual, you, the volunteer, the board of directors, building to be the best individual that you can be to put into your organization. And that's what we're going to do tonight. And tonight, all this information that we're going to talk about tonight, Brad and I are certified to teach this through the Exceptional Leaders Lab. We have a great mentor and great leader in Tracy Spears, who incidentally will be our keynote speaker for our conference this year. She is a Cherokee Nation citizen. Tracy is, at this point, she's beyond being a national. She's an international motivational speaker and leadership trainer. She has a book out called What Exceptional Leaders Know. If you guys get a chance, check it out. She's got some great stuff in there, and that's where this comes from tonight. This tonight is why people do what they do. Have you guys ever wondered that within your organization? Why are they like that? Why are they saying this? Why are they always late? Why? Well, here's the thing, guys. They're not doing it on purpose. They were just genetically disposed to doing those things. They've done studies for years, and we're going to talk about that stuff tonight, about how it's just who they are. It's kind of like how I have short legs, or you're tall, or you have brown eyes versus blue eyes. You're just born with this. And so tonight we're going to talk about understanding who we are and our personality type so we can understand others. And the reason we want to do that because, one, it'll help us maybe be a little bit more tolerable to people, a little bit more considerate, maybe a little bit more patient with people than we might, because we tend to get annoyed by the actions of some, right? It can happen. It's okay. It can be our friends, our loved ones, anybody. At family dinners, I can still watch my mom stare a hole through my dad every time he starts smacking. So, I mean, it just happens that way. You get annoyed by the ones that you care about the most. Or it could be the simple fact that knowing these personality types and knowing someone's strengths and weaknesses can help you delegate tasks, know who to assign assignments to because you know they're the go-getter kind of person, or they're the structured kind of person, or maybe they're the person who comes up with the idea but aren't really the doer. So this will help you understand your people and help make your organization stronger by doing so. A little bit of our agenda, welcome and introductions. We'll go over our learning objectives here in just a few minutes. We'll do some brainstorming. We'll talk about the tests that have been done over the years to prove all these temperaments. We'll talk about the blue, the gold, the green, and the orange. So we're going to separate you guys all out by color tonight. We'll do a handout there at the end. This will help us distinguish whether you're an introvert or an extrovert personality to go along with your personality temperament. And then we'll do our closing circle as always and find out what we were able to get out of the training tonight. Before we do get started, I have a little bit of a few things that goes along with your folder tonight. In your folder, you will see a name tag on there. Please write your names on that. That'll be a part of an exercise a little bit later. 1, I don't know all of you yet. 2, I will probably forget who you are in between that time. So put your name down so I'll have everybody's name just like Barbara Brown just right here in the front. And then you'll see some stickers, and you'll also see 4 color cards in there. Later on, all these things will come into play for us, okay? And the handouts are behind your PowerPoint. People done stole stuff. If anybody's missing anything, just let us know, and hopefully we might have a little bit more stuff. So just see Brad. If there's anything missing, it's his fault. I'm going to use Brad as my, he's going to be my scapegoat most of the night because that's what I do whenever I do this presentation. We've done this a few times now, and just so you guys know before we get started, Brad is a blue. Just so you know. Brad is a blue.
And what are you, Chris?
He enjoys hugs and long walks on the beach.
What are you?
I'm a green. I'm a green. I'm a green. All right. This is what we're going to learn tonight for everybody in the room and everybody at home as well. Tonight here's our learning objectives. We want to understand what temperaments are and how they affect you, how they affect me. We're going to have an understanding of Maslow's hierarchy of fundamental needs and engagement with the public. There's a rhyme and a reason to this. Then we're going to discover which one of the 4 personality temperaments you are and what that means for you. And believe me, you're going to be a little bit of all of them, but one will be a little bit more dominant than the others will be for you. And then at the end, you're going to find out if you're an extrovert or an introvert. How many of you guys already know what you are? Okay? You got a pretty good idea, okay? I'm totally weird. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. When I'm in front of all of you, I'm an extrovert. I'm a public speaker. I'm a leadership. I mentor people. But at home, I'm complete opposite. I spend all my energy on you guys. I have nothing left by the time I get home, and I just turn into a zombie in front of the TV. So that just happens. It's how it works out for me. And there's lots of tests that you can do, Myers-Briggs. There's different things that we'll talk about tonight that you guys can do at home and really dig into who you are personally and how you interact with others. It's really fascinating things. First thing we're going to do, you'll have a handout in there. This is your baseball card. What is normally on a baseball card? Stats. It's who those people are. It's how many hits they got this year, their batting average. If it's a pitcher, it's their ERA, how many strikeouts, how many people they walked. This baseball card will be your personality stats. What I want you guys to do on this paper, mark to where you think you are before we get started. We're going to do a little bit of self-assessment first. As you can see, at the very top, I'd rate my effectiveness as a leader as poor, average, or excellent. Below it, in the crosshairs here, when it comes to change, how do you react to change? Is it an individual vision? It's your way or the highway? Is it intuition and instincts? Do you try to find a way to fit in? Is it careful consideration whenever it comes to change? Are you trying to identify those things? Or is it collective action? Are you the one, okay, this is good, let's do it, let's move forward? It can be any of those things. At the bottom, I want you to name 3 weaknesses you have in leadership. Top right, give me your strengths. Give me your top 3 strengths. As you can see, it says I'm better with, is it people skills or technical skills? If it's a little bit of both, draw it, mark it in the middle. And right next to that, how have you developed your leadership skill set? Is it on-the-job experience or deliberate study? Is one heavier than the other, or is it down the middle again? Has it been a little bit of both? And then, of course, at the bottom, tell me whether or not you think you're an introvert or an extrovert. Are you quiet and reserved, or are you very outgoing, and do you speak out a lot? I'll give you guys about 5 minutes, write this stuff down, and then we'll get started, okay? Do we have any first-timers in here tonight? Got 1? We got 2, 3, 4? Okay, 5, 6, 7? Okay. I'm just going to explain to you guys real quick how this all works in here tonight. These sessions are very interactive. I want to call on people. If you don't want to talk, just tell me to shut up and move on. But the reason we want to do this is we're networking here. We want to learn from each other, just not from what I have tonight. You guys will learn so much more from one another. We do exercises like this, and sometimes we play games and do activities and do different things. So we try to hit everyone's learning style. It's just a little bit of a FYI for you how the sessions really kind of go.
I'll fill that out for him.
Close out.
I'm fine. I just think he's having a hard time finding out his weaknesses. I can right there. I can pray.
was having a hard time figuring his weaknesses out, and Nita was ready to tell him what his weaknesses were.
You know, it is hard when you're bad with yourself.
It is. It's hard. The greatest thing of being able to admit to your weaknesses, that's the first step to correcting those weaknesses. So keep that in mind. Admitting them is always the first step. If anyone runs out of sugar tonight, it's your own fault. We've had cookies, brownies, we've got chocolate and candy out on the desk. So if you still have a sweet tooth after this is over, that's of your own accord. Is anybody still working? Lots? Okay. I'll give you guys some time. Yeah.
How we do this right here?
If you're introverted or extroverted, if you feel like you're in the middle of both, you just circle there or circle wherever you feel like you are on the chart. Yeah. You guys can even draw your picture in there if you feel like it. As long as you sign it afterwards, you know, I'll just keep it. Absolutely. Did you say STL? St. Louis Cardinals. Is she? Well, you know, I'm a die-hard Cubs fan. Have been since I was 8 years old. So you know. You can't be mad at us. I mean, we waited 108 years.
Oh, me too. I really was.
It's great. I'm glad. Subscribe for me. Oh, Brad's got his name tag on. All right, guys, let's get started with this just a little bit. It's just one that let's hope the authorities don't get their hands on it, Ty. When it comes to rating yourself as a leader, who felt like you were poor as a leader? Anybody? How come? How come you feel like you're poor as a leader? What's the reasoning behind that?
I just ain't never took no leadership role.
Took any leadership?
I don't like taking them.
Okay.
I let somebody else.
Mr. Temperament, how about you? You're too quiet.
I'm just not strong enough
To come out with it. Okay? That doesn't mean that you're a bad leader, guys. Everyone has great leadership qualities. We're here to help you find those. That's what we're going to do tonight. How many thought you were just average? Probably the majority. Who's pretty high on themselves besides Ty?
Everybody knows.
Everybody? It's okay to feel that way. It's okay to feel strong in your leadership qualities. It's okay. Most of us kind of feel like we're average. Some of us feel like we don't contribute a lot because we might be shy or maybe we've never done it before. But that's okay. Different personality types will have different leadership qualities, and we'll discover those tonight. When it comes to change, how many of you guys were individual vision? Just felt like this is my way or the highway kind of mentality. Anybody feel that way? Now, if you guys are that way, speak up. Be truthful. No? Yeah, I got one over here. I got one. How many felt like you have intuition and instincts whenever it comes to change? A few. There's usually a few more on this one. What about the careful consideration?
I said he is. You're not raising his hand, but he says he is.
Okay. Gotcha. What about collective action? Get ready to get to work whenever the change happens. You just give me the direction and let's go. Hey, you're everything, then.
Well, I'm a little of all.
You're a little bit of all. That's perfectly normal. We'll scribe this, Brad. Weaknesses. What are some of the weaknesses in the room that we felt like we had in our leadership skills?
Computer skills, listening skills.
Computer skills, listening skills.
Procrastinating.
Don't like conflict.
Don't like conflict. What else was it? Procrastinating. That's a Cherokee thing. So.
That's for sure.
Same level of commitment from other people.
Same level of commitment. You expect more out of people than maybe sometimes they give. We'll get into that here in a little bit. Weaknesses. Any other weaknesses? How about this side of the room? I haven't really heard from anybody yet.
Communication.
Communication is always a weakness for a lot of us. Standing your ground. That can be people pleaser. And we'll talk about that. That's Brad. Brad's the people pleaser. You like to do things by yourself. Okay. We'll talk about that too. What's that? Patience. Patience is another good one. Patience are things that we usually lack. And by understanding these personalities tonight, I'm hoping maybe you guys will gain a little bit of patience with others tonight whenever we get into this. Okay, great. Now let's move into our strengths. You guys told us your weaknesses. What's some strengths that stood out to you guys? Be open-minded, okay? Ooh. What's that? Well organized, okay? What's that? Determination. Yeah, we kind of have to have that in a nonprofit, right?
Don't be afraid to make decisions.
Like to be fair? You like people? A team approach. Absolutely. We're all in this together approach. Okay? Good listener. Anybody else? Inspiration. That you jump in and help. Okay? You see something that needs to be done, someone asks you to do something, you're there. Loyalty is a good one for you. Okay? Bless you.
Don't ask other people to do something you're not willing to do.
Yeah, don't ask people to do something you wouldn't do. Absolutely.
Open-mindedness. You have to be open-minded if you're in a nonprofit.
Be open-minded. Absolutely.
Not afraid to make decisions.
Absolutely. Okay, let's get to these charts here. I'm better with, how many of you felt like you were better with technical skills or people skills? How about our people skills first? Okay. Technical skills. Okay. Who was a mix of both? A mix of both? Just a few? Ty? Okay. All right, let's talk about the leadership skills that you know that you have. Where did you get those from? Was it from experience, from working with people and working with your organization or your current job? Or was it deliberate study? Did you learn these things? Did you study them? Did you go to trainings for them? Did you do things like that? How many were more on the job experience line? A few?
Welch taught us everything we know.
That didn't take long then. How about deliberate study? How many of you guys learned the things that you know from reading books and going to trainings and things? A few in here? How many where it's been a good combination of the two? That's me. It's been a combination of the two. I've learned a lot in the last 8 years.
Do you think there's anybody that was just born with it?
There are certain people that are born with leadership skills. A lot of the times leadership skills can be masked over by just good public speaking skills or being able to relate information. But that is their leadership skill, that public speaking, being able to communicate, being able to relay the message may be the greatest trait that they may have. And they may look like an outstanding leader, but really their skill is being able to communicate with you effectively. So all that can kind of be hidden. And the last part, how many introverts I have in the room? Got a few? Where's my extroverts? Okay. Who thinks they're both? Who's weird like me? Okay. Gracious. Okay. Awesome, guys. This is a little bit of a self-assessment. Here in a little bit, we're going to get into our color cards that's in our folder here. We're going to figure out who's your dominant trait here in a little bit. Then we'll refer back to this and see if you guys still think that's the case. Before we get started, this training is why people do what they do. We're going to have Brad scribe a little bit. We're going to talk about personality traits or temperaments tonight. What are some temperaments or personality traits that you've come into contact with within your organization? Or maybe it's one that is, it can be good, it can be bad, it can be very, very annoying trait to you. But what are some of the things that you've come in contact with working with other people within your organization?
People have diverse backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
Families, diverse nationalities.
Okay. So you have a lot of diversity.
And everyone is different, but we're all the same.
Different but same. Okay. Anybody else?
And interesting. Everyone's interesting.
Emily, Susie? Any kind of personality traits that you've encountered or maybe rubbed you the wrong way a little bit? It can be someone being late or any of those kind of things.
There's some people who talk a whole lot.
People that talk a lot. People talk too much sometimes, okay? Another person's getting pointed at back there for this. Jeff, how about you guys in Fairfield? Anything you guys have encountered that personality traits that have stepped out and caused a little confusion or annoyance for you guys or were good for your organization?
Well, I think the biggest thing is everybody's willing to help when you ask.
Okay. Help when you ask. Okay.
I would say being around somebody that uses bad language.
Bad language. Okay. How about you guys? Anything?
My way or the highway mentality.
My way or the highway mentality? Okay.
Chronically late. That's
Lateness. Okay. I tell you again, that's a Cherokee thing.
I know. That's what I tried.
Yes, Grace.
I have a problem when people say they will do something and they don't.
Okay, when someone says they'll do something and then they don't. Reba, Raven, anything from you guys? I mean, unless he's in the room, there's this. Abrasive. Okay. A big one for me is someone that's passive aggressive. I don't much care for passive aggressive actions. Those kind of drive me crazy.
I think another one is jealousy.
Jealousy. Jealousy's a good one. Absolutely. That can cause conflict, right? That causes problems. We don't really need that. What's that? Whiners. A whiner. You're on notice, Brad. She doesn't like all the whining around.
Time availability.
Availability. Time management probably would be another issue that can go along with this sort of thing. Okay. Those are all great, guys. Those are all things that we're here to help you diagnose tonight because, again, through all this stuff we're going to talk about tonight, it may not be their fault that they're this way, and we maybe need to be just a little bit more tolerant with them. But by knowing this stuff, we're going to be able to effectively work with them better.
I just thought of one, and it's those who want to be a part of it, but kind of like name only. Don't ask me to do anything, but I want to be.
Okay.
And if there's any recognition, can I be there for the,
Okay.
for the whatever?
That happens. It can happen.
Want the credit, but don't want to do the work.
Don't want to do the work. As you guys can see, these are all the colors. There's your green, there's your orange, your gold, your blue. Okay. Here's your gold person. Let's stick to the agenda. This is your structured person. Okay. How many of you heard this? I'm sorry, I'm so late, but you won't believe what happened. That happens a lot, right? Those type of people, it's always something. You want to sit down, grab some popcorn because you know it's going to be a good story. It's going to be a good tell. Here's the blues. This is Brad. Are you upset with me? Everything's based off emotion, relationship, and making others happy with a blue. Don't tell me how you feel. Tell me what you think. That's the analytical person. That's the idealist person. That's the one that comes up with all these crazy ideas and wants to keep things moving forward. That's that person. That's me. I'm the annoying person that does that. But those are the people that you're going to encounter with these things. Can anybody tell me what you think a temperament is? What's a temperament? It's what? It's a mood. Yeah. It's how you react to things. Yeah, your core. Absolutely. It tells us that temperament is the part of your personality that is genetically based. Keep in mind, genetically based. It's like having brown eyes or being left-handed. You can probably change your actions a little bit, but you guys ever do something and you continue to make that mistake over and over and you try to figure out, why in the world do I keep doing that? Well, you probably genetically you're just built that way. So you just have to work a little bit harder. They've been studying these for years. There's all these different things. You guys can look at the 4 temperaments that they began with. This is back in the This happened way back in the Greek times when they started studying all this, guys. And you see the 4. There's caloric. There's your complainer, your griper, the one that's always mad about everything. I don't know why we have to be here. Why are we doing this? Have you guys encountered that person? Oh, yeah. The constant complainer? Okay. Melancholic, they really don't feel anything. They're just kind of, They're the person that, I used to have a friend. I don't care if that guy was happy, excited. He could have just won the lottery. Same expression all the time. Hey, man, how you doing? Completely upset. His expressions never change, and there are people that way. It's very hard to read those people, correct? It's hard to figure them out with their personalities. Phlegmatic, they're kind of happy, they're there, they're going along with the flow. They're just excited to be a part of it. And then you've got the, how do I say that, Brad? Sanguine. These are your over-the-board people. The almost annoying people. It's like the little Jack Russell Terrier running around your legs all the time. This person's very excited to be there. They're wanting to be in your face about everything all the time. That's just because that's just their personality. They're just excited. Okay? And then here's another one, the Enneagram. As you can see, they put it in a 9-step cycle. Again, you see, this is the first time they started putting the colors with everything. 1, that's your perfectionist. Second level's a considerate helper. That's where you guys step in. You say, okay, if you need help, just tell me. I'm there to help. Competitive achiever. You guys have any of those in your organization? That's the person that tries to race you down the hallway just to get out the door. There's no rhyme or reason to it. They're going to win. There's the intense creative, which is more or less what I fall into. I'll tell you guys right now, I'm a green whenever it comes into our color personalities. There's the quiet specialist. Then it goes into the loyal skeptic. Enthusiastic visionary. I'm a little bit in that one too. There's the active controller, and then the adaptive peacemaker. As you guys will see as we go into these next ones, this is all developed since Greek times, how they've looked at these sort of things. The nest is the disc. This is basically where what we're going to talk about tonight comes from, is from this model here. There's your blues, your conscientious, your D's. Here, the red or the orange are dominant. The gold there are inspiring, kind of. And then the greens are supportive kind of people. As you guys can see, for years they've been studying these things to try to break down these personality types. Trying to see what make people tick. And then there's the Myers-Briggs test. If you guys get a chance, get online, try to do this yourself. It's like 86 questions. It's 86 questions because a lot of them repeat on purpose to try to catch you lying. I did this. I'm an ENFJ. Oddly enough, I came out as a ENFJ. I'm in the idealist area, and it says that I'm an envisionary, mentor, and a coach. So, hey, I picked the right career choice there. So, it all worked out good for me. But it'll tell you whether you're an extrovert or an introvert, according to their test, whether you work off of feelings or judgment and just a lot of things. So if you guys get a chance, check that out. It'll help break it down even further for you. Here's even further of a breakdown. They even went so far as to break it down to the characters of the Wizard of Oz. Dorothy, she just wanted to go home, so she was a blue. The lion, he was a red or an orange. He just wanted courage. Tin Man wanted a heart, so he's an idealist. And even the Scarecrow, he was a rationalist because he just wanted a brain. You guys got all that stuff? You guys ready to take a test over it? Yeah, I figured not. But I wanted to show you guys these things because I just wanted to show you how long they've been proving this temperament style. So this is what we know so far. This research has stood the test of time, right? They've been doing it since the Greek times. There are 4 basic temperaments, which they determined. You're born with one that is dominant. You're not just one. You'll have one that's more dominant, but you'll be a combination of a lot of these. Okay? This does not explain it all, but we can simplify this for you guys. And that's what we're going to do now. Does anybody have any questions about any of these things? Any input you want to give? All right. Pull out the cards that are in your folder. And for you guys at home, they have 4 cards which contain the blue, orange, golden, green. I want you to read through those cards. I want you to think about that and figure out which one you feel like is more dominant for you. Okay? And then which one is second. And then which one seems like it might be third, and then fourth. After that, we're going to do a little activity after this with this, guys. I'll give you guys about 5 minutes or so. You guys can look through those cards and figure out which one you think you are. And just a reminder for everybody, I have the parking lot up over here, and there's Post-its on the table. So if you have a question or any comments or anything like that that you don't want to say out loud, just write them down and put them over there, and I'll do my best to answer those for you now. And if I miss them later on, I'll shoot you an email or something like that. You got it figured out? Okay. Yeah, that's you.
I'm way over here. Don't even touch that blue one.
Look at this. Look at this. Playful, charming, witty.
Here, I'm going to go with blue. I'm going to go with blue.
Baby, you're not.
Does everybody about have it figured out? Yeah? All right. Remember your name tag. What I want you to do from left to right, you'll have some stickers in there. They're the same colors of your cards. Put them in order. 1 through 4, which one being most dominant, all the way down to 4, which was your least dominant. Put those stickers on your name tag. After you do that, I want everyone to walk around the room and see if you can't find someone who's just like you. you just put them on your name tag. From left to right. Left is your most dominant. All the way to the right is your least dominant.
What was your name tag?
You put your stickers on it. Did you not get any in your packet? It's probably hard. Maybe it's hard to see.
How rude.
She can't find stickers.
Well, I didn't
Oh, yeah.
I fixed mine.
Here you go, Anita.
Anybody else want stickers?
You turned it upside down. Great. All right, once you have that, try to walk around the room and see if you can't find somebody just like you. There's going to be a lot of almost. It's very hard to find someone who's just like you. What is it? Left or right?
It's different if it's on your chest.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're blue or you're gold? You're gold?
Just flip your whole name tag upside down, then it'll be.
Yeah, just turn it upside down if you did it wrong. All right. If you can make a connection, I have some prizes for you guys. How about you, Gary? What are you? Blue?
Our blue and our gold
What's yours?
Blue, gold, blue, gold, green, orange.
You guys got it.
I'm green.
I'm okay.
Got masking tape, but it'll cover it up.
Pretty similar. Yeah, I'm a bit. It has to be all four. How many of you guys are able to connect? You got two? Two? Is anybody else connected? Okay. Okay. It's hard to find someone just like you, right? It's very far and few between. All right, guys. If you were able to connect, I got some prizes down here for you. Come and grab what you want. Hey, we know you guys are able to. Everybody, get back to your seats. Come here. Find somebody. You sit in front of me. Oh my goodness. There's some cups, guys. All I got left is cups. That's awesome, guys. That's it. We're out. I'll get you guys some stuff. I got plenty. Yeah, he was sitting in front of me all the time. I went all the way around. All right. All right, everybody, go get back to your seats. Let's finish up. What, the good ones? They took them.
Emily tried to convince me to switch because she
Did
was
she?
a people switcher.
Barbara, I told you the night was still young. How many of you guys found it hard to find someone who was just like you, right? So should we get so annoyed by the actions of others if not everybody's just like us? And by asking them to switch does not work either, Emily. You can't change who they are. This is who they are. So, just to show you guys, some maybe a little bit of tolerance, maybe a little bit more patience with others, since we're not all the same. Yes. That depends. I think so. You have to be more patient. Yes.
Because we're so different.
You guys are so different. You guys are so different. That is for sure. Let's dive into this now. We're going to talk about Maslow's hierarchy of fundamental human needs. These are the things that we need as human beings to reach that self-actualization. You know, we talk about building self-sufficiency up in our organizations all the time. We need that as humans as well. We need that as people. We need to feel we get to that point to be truly effective in what we do, right? You have these your very bottom basic needs, your physiological needs. That's food, water, warmth, rest, you know. That's the Tommy Wildcat level. You got food in your belly and you're warm, you are completely happy there. You have safety needs. Once you can feel those needs are met, then you have safety needs. Your belly's full, you're warm, but you want to feel safe and secure at the same time, right? Those are your next things. The next thing that you're looking to do, if you can meet those, is belongingness and love and needs. That's where you blue people are going to be so comfortable. Because everything's based on relationship, happiness, the feeling of belonging. If you can meet that, there's esteem needs, prestige and feeling of accomplishment. Whenever you accomplish those sort of things, don't you guys kind of get that endorphin? You get that endorphin release, right? That feeling that you just did something. It's great. It feels good. These are your gold people. We'll talk about you guys in a minute about needing to feel this. And it almost becomes a drug for you, right? You accomplish one thing, you want to try to do something else because you want that feeling again. You want to feel that accomplishment. So it's almost a vicious cycle. It just keeps going for you because that's what drives you, is to get that feeling over and over. And once you get there, then you can reach your self-fulfillment. You can hit your self-actualization. You can achieve one's full potential, including creative activities. You've hit the full spectrum, right? Well, the same that you need in your basic needs also fit into your organization needs too, right? What is someone doing whenever their basic needs are just being met in the organization? They're surviving, right? That's survival mode. They can become disengaged. They feel isolated and not happy with their job or the work that they do. Is that sometimes why we lose volunteers in our organizations? They don't feel like they belong. Maybe we don't give them meaningful tasks enough to make them feel like they're a part of it. Sometimes they can fall by the wayside because we have so much going on, right? That can happen very easily. Next is security, the whole security area. These people are still not engaged, even though they're above survival. They do what is expected of them, but they don't do anything else. They don't step above there. They don't do that. They're fine with just being. As long as they're not getting griped at or yelled at about anything, they're okay with it. How about belonging? The next one. You get to the next level. Those are your demotivators. You're jumping into motivators now. Talk about that. Belonging. They just feel like they belong to it. But they're almost engaged. Not quite. They're not jumping out and doing extra things and those things just yet. But they're happy with their situation. They're happy where they are. They're happy doing the things that you ask them to go do. That means that they're good at it. And they understand the impact and the goals of the organization. This is your understanding level, basically, of what they need to do. They may not be going over and beyond just yet, but they could get there. And then importance. These are your engaged folks. They know what's expected of them, and they have the support to do the job well. These are your people who go above and beyond, right, within your organization. These are the people who know they have your support. They know that they know how things are supposed to go in the organization, and they know what's expected of them. And sometimes, a lot of the times, they go above that because they believe. And they believe in your mission. They believe in the goals that you've set. And they're ready to do extraordinary things with you. The highly engaged. These are your people who reach the pinnacle, who reach the top. They're aligned with the mission. They inspire others to take action. They know the culture and they want to build it for success. These are your leaders. These are your people who want to take on the tasks that come up. They're willing to jump up and say, I'm going to take the lead on this, and I need these types of people to come with me to help me do this project. These are those kind of people. It's an elevated style. I mean, can you guys imagine maybe where we're not as tolerant or we're not as patient with some people because we just don't really understand them? Imagine if we could take that patience and be a little bit more tolerable with them. I mean, we may be able to take, even if it is just to take them up to the next level, you could take someone who's just in survival mode and make them feel like they're a part of things and make them feel secure in the organization. If it is just one level, you may be able to take somebody who's in the belonging stage and you could lead them into the next stage of being engaged and being important and being that above and beyond type person in your organization. It could happen that easily. So again, you've said open-minded many times tonight. We have to be open-minded to the actions of others. And we never know when we're going to mentor and lead that next person into the role that we would like to see them be. Needs versus wants. Can anybody kind of really tell me the difference between this? Exactly. A need is something you need to have. A want is something that you would just like to have, right? Like we'd all like to have more money in our organizations. That's usually a want, right? You're doing okay for most part. Lights are staying on, heat services are still happening, those sort of things. But we would love to have a new building. We'd love to have an extra amount of things, right? What's the true need in our organizations? Volunteers. That we heard that a lot today. What are some other needs that you guys have in your organizations?
Engaged people.
Engaged people. Okay. What are some other needs?
I know you said that money thing was a want, but we need it.
Okay. Money is a need for some folks. Absolutely. Any other needs? People to be interested. Okay. Interests. Community approval. You need community approval. That's a great one. I love that. Absolutely. Anybody else? No? Okay, how about wants? Everybody start letting it free. Just come on out. What are those things that you want, Gary? What's a want for you?
Good ideas.
Good ideas. He wants good ideas. Okay. You want a building. And you want what?
A grant writer.
You want a grant writer.
I think we all want them.
Blake, what do you want?
Transportation services.
Transportation services. Okay.
We also want more members.
You want more members or do you need more members?
So,
Okay.
we want them and we need them.
Okay. You want them and you need them. Okay.
We want them, but we also need them, so we want them.
Okay.
All of them, we want
I gotcha. Abby, how about you guys? More participation. All right, guys. Can you kind of see that there's a fine line between the needs and the wants in the room? A need for one may be a want for someone else, or vice versa. We all have different things that we feel like are needs and wants in our organizations. Just the same as other individuals will have different needs and what they consider what different wants may be to you may be a need for them. And now we're going to dive into these color personalities and you guys are going to see what I'm talking about. Did I have any first blues? Okay, is that it? All right. Blues, you guys are built on relationships. That's the most important thing to you. Your interaction and your reaction and any decision that you make is based on a relationship and whether or not everyone's going to be happy with you or not. Blues are the greatest cheerleader you can ever have in your organization. Blues will keep you together as a team, no matter. Look at these characteristics of a blue. Optimistic, genuine, idealistic, intuitive, friendly, tactful, supportive, imaginative, empathetic, compassionate, nurturing, devoted, spiritual, the peacemaker, to keep it, they like to keep peace in the room. They're romantic, they're emotional. That's how they base their decisions. Blues usually, they have a connection with everybody. They have a connection with the room, and blues can usually walk into a room and see if someone's upset or if they're not engaged during the day or whether or not they think that they're mad about something that happened for the day. Well, you can say, well, I think Ty was mad. Well, how do you know that? Well, I could just tell. They just have this intuition about them that they can tell by people's expressions and how they act. And it will completely destroy them if they think that you're mad at them about anything that they've done. You may be blue. It can happen. Blues are 15 to 20% of people in the world. And they're not just a bunch of hippies running around wanting free love and peace. I mean, these are people that we work with every day. But they will be the backbone of your organization. Whenever we get into the golds and the greens and the oranges here in a minute, you're going to understand why the blues are going to be your backbone. They're the one that's going to keep everything together when all these different personalities get around each other. That's because they're the peacemakers. They're the ones that wants to keep, they're supportive. Like I said, they're the greatest cheerleader in the room. That is their leadership quality. They are the greatest leader in the room. Okay? You got a project going on, you need to throw a blue in on that team because they will keep it together no matter what happens. The blues will keep it all together for you guys. For the most part. Golds, where's my golds? All right. You're my OCD people. Golds are organized, consistent, realistic, steadfast, direct, proper, loyal. You're practical, prepared, predictable. You're committed, traditional, detailed, dutiful, punctual, and meticulous. These are your policymakers. These are your people. This is the way it is. Most of you, how many of you guys have a checklist? How many of you guys who have a checklist, something comes up during the day, you accomplish it, do you write it on the checklist and then mark it off? Yeah. Absolutely, because you cannot move on with the day until that happens, right? How organized are you, Golds? What's your closet look like? Is it organized from shirts to blouses, pants, dress pants, suits? Yeah, right there. Some of you probably still have the shoes in the boxes still. These two right here, shoes are still in the boxes. Yes, I was kidding about the OCD part, but Golds are a little bit OCD when it comes to things. They have a routine probably every morning. To get ready in the morning is the same way. If that gets messed up, some of them have to start all over and do it all over again so the day can go on. It just works that way. But think about someone with these personality traits in your organization. What can they do? They can keep everything moving forward, right? They keep everybody in line. They keep the structure going. Just because these qualities might annoy us a little bit, that doesn't mean they don't have a leadership trait to put into your organization, right? These people that have these type of personality traits, they're able to help you keep everything running. And that's what's great about them. And you always need them around too, because how many of us like to make policy? They love it. They love it. It gives them structure. It gives them rules to follow. That's what makes gold so beneficial to us. And then we just kind of have to look over. But this is the greatest part of this at all, guys. Look at this. 40 to 45% of the people in the world are golds. That's a whole bunch of OCD people running around. That is a bunch.
And it's like this because at work, this is what I have to be because that's like part of your training. You have to be able to do all this. But then you also have to be caring and loving, you know.
Absolutely.
Because, I mean, you know, with Jesus, that's what we make.
Absolutely. That kind of goes back to our baseball thing earlier, was your leadership skills. Is that something you learned? Or was that one that, did you learn these things through experience? It kind of goes both ways. You're born with certain things, but you can learn different personality traits. Absolutely. Absolutely. For the most part, yes. You're talking about that? Yes, golds are a little bit of your control freaks. Yes. Responsibility is their biggest thing. Teachers, you know, a lot of people like me. Let's jump back to the blues just for a minute. When Tracy does this presentation, she always talks about the blues. The blues, you know, they're your cheerleader. They're the people when you come in their office, they've got 2 chairs, a bowl of candy, some Kleenex. They're waiting for you to tell them about your problems because they care about them. Golds don't. You could come in and say, Reba, how was your day? And Reba might start saying, well, let me say, I don't really care. I was just being polite. I have work to do. Golds normally won't have any chairs in their office, or Kleenex, or candy. As a A matter of fact, if you start to walk in their office, they're more likely to get out from behind their desk and meet you halfway and say, is there something I can help you with? They want you out of that room so they can get back to what they're working on because they're structured that way. That's how responsible they are. So always keep that in mind. If you walk into someone's office and there's no chairs and no candy and no Kleenex, just move on to the next one till there is. Because they don't want you there. Telling you right now. Greens, this is me. This is the competence. These are your idealist kind of folks. Did I have any greens in the room that was green first? There.
Might not be green.
Here's your greens. Greens are insightful. They're inquisitive. They're analytical, visionaries, rational, conceptual, investigative. They're perfectionists a little bit. Logical, they're direct, they're researchers, they like to be strategic, they like to have a plan together. They're problem solvers, they like to help people with their problems. They're factual, they're knowledgeable, and they're contained. This is a person that, it could be their first day in your organization and they come to your first meeting. They're going to sit down and they're, who are you? Why are we doing things this way? How long has this been going on? They don't care who you are. They're just always trying to make everything better, right? They're the ideal person. They're the ones coming up with the ideas. They're ready to, okay, well, just because we've been doing it this way this whole time doesn't mean it's right. Let's fix this, you know. They try to fix what's not broken most of the time. And possibly could be the most annoying person in the organization. That's okay for, they have no empathy whatsoever. If they step on your toe, they really don't care because it's all about the facts. It's all about the research. We're going by the numbers. I don't care how you feel. Tell me what you think. Give me the facts. Give me the research so we can move on and be productive. These are the kind of people who are probably going to... How many of you guys get mad for somebody who comes up with an idea but doesn't really help do the idea afterwards?
We get a lot of those.
These are the green people. They come up with the idea, but they're not really the action people. They're good at coming up with the idea.
And getting other people.
And helping and trying to get the action, the doers, which are going to be your orange people, which we'll talk about here in a minute, to do those things. Yes, absolutely. They are strategic, and they've already researched it, so they're going to tell you how to do it. But they're not really the doer. Absolutely. That's me in a nutshell, guys. I am a green. I'm the ideal person. I'm very strategic. But I'm also part gold. So I'm going to be annoying and structured at the same time. There's people that help me do things. You guys see I didn't do the food tonight. You guys saw what was going on out there. That was my idea to have fried chicken. But I didn't do it. That's just how it works. The good news is that only 5 to 10% of the people in the world are green. So there's not too many idea people that are telling everybody what to do. Okay? Like I said, greens can be the most annoying people in the world. That's what Tracy told me. She goes, greens, you're the most annoying person in the world. You're trying to change everything that everybody's been doing just fine for years. You come in out of the blue, you just want to change everything. You're always coming up with a new idea that, I have to be honest, guys, I can drive down the road and see an empty building and say, you know what I think would be great in there? I cannot stop from doing that. I don't know why. I can't tell you before the kettle turned into the red moon how many times I said, you know, there needs to be a Cracker Barrel in there. I can see rocking chairs for sale on the front porch and everything. It's just one of those things. You can't keep yourself from doing it when you're green. But it's great. It's okay. That's who you are.
It's like her with her yard and her gardening. My God, she kills me. I can't get done with one project before she's...
Exactly. We're always looking for the next thing. Here's something else about a green. A green will come up with ideas, or maybe if they're doing a project on their own, their brain's going to wander because they already thought of a new idea that they want to start on. They'll have 10 projects going and never finish any of them. That's why you need that gold person to kick you in the pants and be structured and to help you finish those things. So it all goes together. Yes, sir?
What would you rate Steve Jobs?
Steve Jobs is, he was a lot of a green. He was. If you really know who Steve Jobs was, Steve Jobs with Apple, he was very idealistic. He didn't do well with people, and he had no empathy whatsoever. He can make any decision at any time. Most of your CEOs are a mixture of green and gold. They're structured in the way that they run things, and they have no empathy and no compassion.
This is my uncle, because you will talk to him in the way he can walk off and leave you because he's done with the conversation. He doesn't want to keep
Absolutely. Greens will walk away from the conversation. When they've checked out, they just go.
Yeah, you do that a lot to us.
I do that a lot. Okay, let's talk about the performer, the freedom, the orange. How many orange people were in here? Okay. Oranges love freedom. That's what they love. They love to be free thinkers. They love to be on their own. Oranges are usually more of your artistic kind of people that are into drama, movies, people that are painters. You know, they like the free thinking. They have to have that freedom to be productive. They're adventurous. They're spontaneous, playful, flexible, resourceful, courageous. They're motivational. They're performers, like I said. Competitive. They're usually generous to some degree. Creative, multitaskers, action-oriented. Keep that one in mind. They're entertaining and approachable. Okay? These folks don't like to be told what to do. You cannot micromanage an orange. You cannot. They will check out on you. Oranges are the people that are in the room, right? People are, as much as they don't like direction from anyone, you could say, they could walk in the room and say, don't touch this water right here. You talking about this water? Yes, that water. Don't drink from that water. This water? They're going to push you, see how far they can go. Because that's how they are. You try to hold them down, they're going to push back against you. But that doesn't make them bad people. That might make them, like I said, as annoying as a Jack Russell Terrier running around your legs. They have endless amounts of energy. They're the people you're like, where in the world are they getting all this? You know, I can barely keep my eyes open. They're all over the place. The greatest thing about them, and some of the other traits that will go along with an orange, they're very quick-witted. Most have no filter on their mouth. If it's in the brain, it's coming out of the mouth. They don't even realize it happens until it's already gone. They're the ones that have to say oops and apologize quite a bit because it just happens that way. That's how their brain works. What's so great about an orange, though, this is the positive with an orange. These are your action-oriented people, right? These are the people when the idealist, when the green comes up with the idea, that they're going to be able to go carry that plan out. Because one, they've got this endless amount of energy. One, that's the biggest thing. They're pretty competitive and they want to go out there and they want to do these things. But the good thing with them is they're motivational. They inspire others who maybe aren't this way, but they see someone else doing it and they want to go join them because they aspire to be like that. So it's great. They're the people. Once the idea, once your blue person has coached everybody up, got everybody excited that we're a great team and we're going to do these things. The golds have laid down the plan and laid some structure down for us on the idea that the green person came up with. And then you turn it over to the oranges and they can go carry out the action plan and motivate some of the others to help them do so. You see how this all wraps in, guys? How these personalities work? No matter how different they are from us, no matter how annoying that they could be to us at some times, it's great to have a little bit of tolerance, right? A little bit of patience because even though they're different than us, they still have a role in our organization. So it's great for us to understand who we are, but it's also something else to identify the personality and the temperaments of others so we can delegate tasks better, right? We can work better as a team, and we can accomplish more together than apart once we understand these things. And it's so awesome. Okay. Blues are your promoters, right? They need to separate who they are from what they do. They're the ones that are usually after work, maybe want to catch some dinner with you after the thing's over, because they're trying to build that trust. They're trying to build that relationship with you because that's what's most important to them. They want you to know that they're there for you. Okay? Your golds, your structured folks, the producers, they seek the rules and structure. They have to have it. Just like at home in their spice rack or their closet has to be structured the way that it is. They need that in their working environment too. So their policies and your bylaws and things like that are the most important thing to them because it gives them basically a plan to go by. It gives them the structure that they need. And they're there to help you guys through the structure. They're the first one to call out if we're not doing something right. And we need that because sometimes we forget, right? Sometimes we get so caught up in what we're trying to do and the end result, sometimes we forget why we're doing what we're doing. Greens, the ponderer. They're always looking for the data. And again, they often skip empathy. They get so caught up in the research and the idea that sometimes others' feelings kind of get left out. So again, those are why there's they can be the most, they can be the hardest to tolerate and to be patient with because it just doesn't seem like they care. They do care. They really don't. They really don't understand how to care.
You have to explain it very, very simply, or and sometimes they still don't get it.
Yeah, and sometimes they don't.
And she's like that. She sometimes just doesn't understand.
It's all about the facts, the data. It's all about the research that they've done. They already know how it needs to happen. They just want it to happen. And the way you feel about it really doesn't matter to them. But they're there because we have to have those people and those ideas because they just don't come out like that. And these people usually come up with the best ones. And then, of course, the oranges, your performer. They need options and freedom, and whatever you do, don't micromanage them. Okay? Remember, they're the ones that's going to carry the plan out for us. They're the one that's going to do all the hard work for us. Keep that in mind, so don't make them mad.
Are they the micromanagers?
No. Someone that's an orange and you give them a task, don't ask them weekly how it's going. Do not do it. Just assume that it's going to be done by the time the event gets there. Because you will do nothing but make them mad, and they might just quit on you if you micromanage them. You literally have to give them the freedom to just do what they're going to do because they have to be creative.
Which one is the more of the micromanager?
Your micromanager type are usually your gold, the structure, and they want updates. They want things to know that things are going the way that they've thought them out in their brain. Basically, golds are the people that are your micromanagers, and they have to watch that a little bit. I've seen some golds not be micromanagers, but they can be. It's easy for them. It's easy for them to turn that way. Now let's talk about this for a minute. Whenever they get the tools and the responses that they need, and then we'll talk about how these personalities can kind of turn the other way too, whenever they don't get what they need from this. The promoter, whenever they get what they need, they're very nurturing. They're peaceful. It's all about teamwork. It's all about the relationship between everybody and keeping everybody together. The producer, they keep everything organized. It's all about safety, the structure. It's there. They're peaceful. They're calm then when this is going on for them. The ponderer, coming up with a strategy, innovation, the vision. They can see the long-term vision of the organization sometimes when others cannot. That's great. We need somebody to do those things for us. And then the performer, they're fun, they're adventurous, they're creative. They keep everybody laughing in the meetings. They come up with those quick-witted things. They come up with different unique ideas and ways to do different stuff. We need that, right? We need that in our organizations. That's why we tell you guys all the time. It's not all about the work. It's about celebrating your successes too. Oranges are really good at helping you do that. Blues, whenever they don't get what they need, they become sterile, cold, disconnected from the organization, and then usually probably what happens to them? They usually drop out. They go away. I will say that's a natural Native American trait for a lot of us, is to become disconnected when where we're not one usually to really speak out and say something when we're upset about something. What do? We bury it deep down inside until we eventually just erupt or just walk away. And the person never even knew what you were mad about to begin with. That's a natural, it's not just with the Cherokee people, it's all Native American tribes. I mean, they've studied this. It's a natural reaction for us. And it all goes back to mistrust and not feeling like you're being respected and those sort of things. It just happens that way. So a lot of us can become this way if we're not careful. The producer, if they don't get the structure they need, it becomes complete chaos, unpredictable, and they become unstable. You want to talk about blowing up? These are the people that blow up. These are the people who flip over desks and just walk out one of these days. They get that stressed out by it. It can happen that way. So it's good to keep them happy. Now your ponderer, they will become stagnant, stuck in the past, if they aren't able to be visionaries and be able to be the idealistic person. And they become subjective. How many of you guys ever witnessed that in your own organizations to where a certain person can get stagnant in the organization? I've seen it a lot, especially with people that have been on the same board for a very long time. They're used to doing things the way that they've always done them. Or, they used to be the one that started this whole thing, or they're the ones that used to come up with all the ideas, but now they're out of ideas because they need to be motivated. And if they don't get that motivation, it will just continue. The cycle would continue with them until they get burned out and then they go away. The performer. Again, if they don't get what they're looking for or you micromanage them, they're going to get bored, belabored, and unimaginative. They're not good to have around anymore. They've lost their ability to be the action person. They've lost their ability to try to keep the spirits up. They've lost their ability to really be the productive. Now they're just the annoying Jack Russell Terrier nipping at your ankles, and they really have no purpose anymore. It doesn't make them bad people. It just means that they need to be remotivated. And that's when all this happens. As long as your blue is happy, go get your blue. Get them to remotivate these folks. Help them get regenerized and go out there and do what you need to do. Everyone has a role to play. It's just like like you guys do your large event every year. You know that you need someone to keep everybody together, right? So you'll find a blue in the organization to keep everybody motivated and going. You'll know that it needs a lot of structure. Put the plan together. So to get a group of your goals together and be able to put get a good plan in order. The idea was already come up by your greens. And then you find a great group of oranges together and get there and go start doing everything and get the rest of the group motivated to do it as well. Everyone has a role to play, and that's what's great about this. And once we understand ourselves and then understand others, we can officially really work together and accomplish great things once we do these things. Does anybody have any questions about those or any comments? Anybody find anything that you didn't know already or found some things a little more interesting? How many found out who you really are tonight? Diana? Anybody else? Yeah, Blake found out? I think your girlfriend she figured it out too, so I don't know what's going to happen when you guys leave. So she finally figured you out. All right, guys. So let's talk about this. We're going to talk about our personal interaction style. We're going to go into our introvert and our extrovert stuff now. Introverts, the difference here, guys, is me. As I said earlier, I'm an extrovert when I'm here. I'm a public speaker. I do leadership talks. I do all these things. My energy comes from the room. That's where my energy comes from. I work with people. I try to help people solve problems all day long. That's what I do. My energy comes from the individuals in the room. So by the time I'm out of here, my brain is gone by the time I get out of this room. Once the air, which is you, leaves, I'm deflated. So when I get home, I become a complete introvert. I become reserved, calm, quiet, because I've spent my energy for the day here. So I need quiet time after that's over. So it is possible to be both. It is, depending on what your job is or what your lifestyle is. There's some people that are extrovert just all the time. Those are usually your oranges that are just hyper excited, love to be around everybody, and even when they're home, they're the same way with their family. And there are introverts. Absolutely. Absolutely. And then there's introverts. Probably, I mean, you look at individuals like probably Eva. I would imagine with Eva is probably an introvert for the most part, unless the Cardinals are winning, I would imagine. She's probably pretty quiet most of the time. Eva's that way in public. She was an extreme introvert whenever I first met Eva. But through our trainings and things like that, Eva's become more open. She's learned to feed off the energy too in the room. Not as much as I do, but Eva's become more outspoken here. But at home, I imagine she's the same way. I don't know. We'd have to ask Abby. Is she that way at home, Abby? Abby's not saying. But it's okay to be that way. But the great thing is, if you understand who you are, you'll be able to help others understand you too. So that's the great thing about this. Interaction styles. One is how you process information and where you get your energy from. This is where this all comes from. How you process information and where you get the energy from. Let's take a quick test. You guys see a handout in there? One side is introvert things. The other one is extrovert. Mark the things that you think on each side that fit you and put the total down at the bottom. This will give us a good idea of which is more dominant for you if you kind of have a question about it. Let's talk about that after we get done. Anybody need more time? Yes.
Is it possible that you're just both? Because, like in his question, honestly, he can be both, depending on what he's doing.
Absolutely.
I can on some of these.
Absolutely, you can be both from these guys. Keep that in mind. You can be an introvert extrovert. I know I am in different situations. It can be. Gary, what'd you come up with? Gary's an introvert. Emily? Introvert? Introvert? You're an extrovert? Extra? Introvert. I knew you were. Extra? Extra? Intra? You're both? Absolutely. He doesn't know what he's getting at home, does he? What are you? You're more of an introvert? Okay, Mr. Terrapin? Introvert? Jeff? Intra? A little bit of both? Introvert? Ty?
Both.
Both?
Extrovert.
Extrovert, big time. How about intra? Extrovert? Introvert? Intra? Both? I knew Grace would be both. How about back here, guys? You're an extrovert? Extra. Intra? Extrovert. 100% extra. How about Kim? Extrovert. Introvert. Abby, you introvert too?
Yeah, but I think
You're introvert, but you're confused a little?
yeah, extrovert at work.
Extrovert at work, absolutely. What's the best place to be the extrovert? No one ever bothers you. They're tired of you by that point. That's great, guys. This should give you guys a better understanding of where you may be on the spectrum. I'm just going to finish this off and tell you guys a little bit more about these so you guys can understand it just a little bit more. You're extrovert. You have an external thinking process, which for the most part means you have no filter. If you're thinking it, you're saying it. For the most part, that's just how you process things. You guys ever done that and said, why in the world did I just do that? I have done that many times. Well, there's a guy in our office. Staff meeting, he says things, and everybody's just like, I can't say that. We're on camera. He can do that. I mean, he does it. It just comes out of his mouth before he's realized really what he's just said. There's a whole lot of oops and I'm sorries that come out because that's their external thinking process. If it hits the brain, it's coming out of the mouth. There's a lack of filter there for the most part. And you gather your energy from others, whether it's in this type of role like I am in public speaking or just the others that you work with, talking to other people while you're there, or just the energy you gather from being at work with people that you enjoy being around. You gather your energy from there because you want to be around people. And it is possible for a blue. I mean, we talk about the blues being emotional and those sort of things. Where do they get their most enjoyment? From other people. So blues, a lot of the times, will be extroverts. Even though they're calm and quiet and a lot of that some of the time, their energy that they do have will come from being around others because it's all based on what? The relationship, right? So that's easy for them. There is, with your golds, you're going to find a lot of golds, and your greens are going to be, at some point, a little bit of an introvert. Just a little bit. Now the greens, I told you, are so goofy. They can go both ways. It's very rare that you see a big, strong extrovert green, but they will be there. Introverts, you have an internal thinking process. This is a dominant trait for Native Americans. I'll just tell you now. You saw how many of us in the room were introverts. That's a natural thing for us. A lot of us are analytical. We think. We process everything. What is being an introvert going to do to an extrovert? With your thinking process. Huh? Makes them nervous. They will get so mad at you. Extroverts, everything comes out of their mouth. They're ready to handle it now, right? In their situations, especially when there's conflict. They want to get it now. Us introverts, what? We got to stop and think about it for a little bit, right? We're not going to be able to give them that instant gratification that they need from the conversation for the most part. So think about that. If you're a significant other, be a little bit more patient with them, extroverts. The introverts need to think about it for a little bit. They need to think it through and make sure that what they're about to say is going to be the right thing. Yes, Emily?
You're telling the introverts to be more patient because there's a point you say, can you be quiet?
Yeah, it can go both ways, absolutely. And here's the thing, they gather this energy that they have internally. A lot of introverts, sometimes they just want to be left alone. You know? As soon as they come in the door, they probably just want to kind of chill and hang out for a few minutes by themselves, kind of gather themselves. Because that's where they're going to gather their energy to talk to you and to do those sort of, to do the things that you like in a personal relationship with somebody, is that they need that space, they need that time, and extroverts, you need to give it to them. That's how they function. They're not being weird, they're not mad at you, they're not, ignoring you. They just need time to process things. So it's good to give them to that. We're all different, and we all work in different ways. And like I say, some of you were a little bit of both, and that's perfectly okay. You draw your energy from here, then when you get home, you may need to chill out, calm down, and be that way. Or you may be complete opposite. When you're around a lot of people, you may close up and then become very outspoken whenever you get home. It could be vice versa.
Can you be an introvert when you're out in the world,
Absolutely.
but an extrovert?
Because you're comfortable in that situation. When you're around a lot of people, a lot of times you're not comfortable if you're an introvert in front of people, because you're not comfortable in that situation. But a smaller crowd, maybe at home, you're more comfortable with those folks, so you will be more outspoken. It's a natural reaction. Absolutely. Does anybody have any thoughts or any input on introverts, extroverts? Whether you think the test was right, was it wrong? Did you guys feel that was the way it was supposed to go?
I was disappointed.
You were disappointed? Well, I'm disappointed too, so.
Don't talk to me.
Yes.
Leave me alone
Yes.
for 30 minutes and then
It could be introvert, or you just may need coffee. I don't know.
it's like when I get to the floor, I'm ready to go. I want, and when she gets up, it's like, don't talk to me.
It happens that way, guys. Absolutely. Well, guys, that is all I have for you guys tonight. I will remind you guys, please fill your evaluations out. Please let us know how you thought about the training tonight. We'll end with our closing circle like we always do. I'm going to go through, and I want you guys to tell me something that you were able to take away from tonight's training.
Tell me something there. Does being an introvert or extrovert, does that have anything to do with if you're a gay person or a night person?
Not really. I mean, it's... Are you? Okay. Introverts probably can get a little bit more, night's a little bit more calm than day. So I can see how that could work. I'll have to look into that. I'll look and see if I can find some research. Since I'm the green, I like that sort of thing. Gary, what was something you were able to take away from today? Okay. Why people do what they do, right? Emily?
Okay, I think the most valuable lesson was get along with all people types.
Get along with all people. Susie? Ditto. Get along with all people. Even when they keep talking, try to get along with them. How about you?
The applications of some of these different temperaments.
Okay, the application of the temperaments, Reba?
What I do at our meetings.
Okay. You find out why you do what you do.
I do certain things for our meetings.
Absolutely. Are you a gold? No? Blue? Okay. Raven?
I think it's going to help me in working with our group.
Help you.
What each person fits into.
Okay. Help you delegate tasks better now. Okay.
I have a question. We're talking about genetically our temperament,
Yeah.
but over time, it can also be learned. Can it also be learned?
Yeah, that's what we talked about earlier whenever we did the baseball thing, where your leadership skills came from. Did you gather them because, was it on the job experiences, or is it something that you learned yourself? Yeah, studying. So yes, your temperament, you're born with a certain one, but you can sculpt that. And one of the greatest things that I've ever heard is another training that we do have out of this same book is called personal branding, or your reputation, basically, how to build your reputation as an individual up. And the funny thing is, you have no control over that. You have your reputation or your brand is not what you say it is. It's what the people say about you when you leave the room. And there's only one way for you to change that, and that's to change your actions.
Isn't that your essence?
Yes.
Who you are, what you are.
That's who you are. And never stop being you, for no matter what people say about you. But how to control that, your reputation, you have no say-so. Your reputation isn't what you say it is. It's what other people say about you. So always keep that your actions can speak louder than any words can ever be said. What was something you got out of this training today? Beneficial. Besides fried chicken. Who you are. You learned who you are. Okay?
Okay, I've been looking at trying to do some new volunteer or new member orientation, and I'm thinking, oh, why didn't I think of this and put some of this in what we're doing, and to look at Maslow's hierarchy. Yeah,
Absolutely.
We're losing them right there at the
Yeah,
beginning.
absolutely.
Oh, okay, now I need to revamp some stuff.
Absolutely. Linda?
I learned that I'm just a big mess.
She learned she's a big mess tonight. I'm sorry.
I find that I'm several of them,
Absolutely.
but I'm still that total introvert.
Gotcha.
Well, I found out why I did what I did when my kids were growing up. And I know this is kind of like maybe off the subject, but
That's okay.
my house was a catch-all for all the kids in the neighborhood. They were always there. I never knew how many I was cooking for, and they would eat till whatever food was gone.
Yeah.
I had a boy come in my office not long ago before I retired. And he walked in and he said, Mrs. Martin. And I said, well, yes, James, how in the world are you? You knew my name? And I said, well, sure, why not?
Yeah.
And he said, I love coming to your house because you always treated us like we were your kids. You treated all of us the same.
Yeah.
If we did something we shouldn't, you would get on to us just like one of yours. And in all the time my growing up, when I think about it, I loved coming to your house more than anything else in my life growing up. And I thought, wow.
That's awesome.
What a compliment.
What a compliment.
So now I know why I'm an extrovert. It's because I love people.
Love people. Absolutely. That's great.
And I want them to be comfortable and welcome and know that they're loved.
Absolutely. You got a lot of blue in you.
I guess I think I'm a
You do. Brittany, how about you?
I learned everybody's different personalities. I didn't know they had.
You didn't know the different personalities, Blake?
Well, I was kind of going off the same thing with that, but I'm glad to know that I'm not the only person going through the different oranges, blues, and reds.
Yeah.
And all the above.
Yeah, that's great. You're not as weird as you thought you were, right? That's good.
It's just happening to me, but
it's happening to everybody else, man. It's okay. It is. How about you? What is something you were able to take away from today?
I think if you're in a leadership position, you understand they really all do work together.
They do.
It's not like there's odd men out.
Exactly. Everyone has a role, right?
Puzzle together, and that knowledge kind of helps you.
It does. Once you can fit the puzzle, the pieces of the puzzle together, you have a heck of a team going on. Carol?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. If you had people take the test before you picked your team,
Yeah.
then you could really have a group that accomplished a whole lot.
You sure could.
That works better.
How about you?
Not everybody does.
No one's left out. Yeah.
To understand people and meet them at their level.
Meet them at their level. Mr. Terrapin?
I'm more weird than what my wife tells me.
You're more weird than your wife told you was already. Jeff? Help you communicate better, absolutely.
Like I'm an orange. Fun, adventurous, and creative.
You figured out who you are, huh? You're an orange. How about you?
I've been trying to change him for 50 years.
He's still an orange, isn't he?
It was good.
You enjoyed it? Okay, Tina?
Be more patient with people.
Be more patient with people. Absolutely. Let's go over here, Grace.
I was so happy when you said that you vision, this building for what it is. Because everywhere we go, my husband tells me how something should be landscaped.
I might do that too.
Why?
How about you?
Definitely, yeah, definitely.
Definitely, yeah.
I think maybe more insight into why I got along so well with some of my bosses, and in others, like the micromanagers, just
Yeah.
drive me crazy.
Drive you crazy, so you're an orange then, right?
No.
No?
No, I'm a green.
You're a green? Okay, that gets you too. Okay?
We need a combination of each of the colors because so the organization can get along.
Yeah.
Because you've got to have
Yes.
some of each of them, or it can't work. because
Absolutely. You need a little bit of everything, don't you, to be productive?
Each has their own skills, their own goals.
Absolutely.
All the different ones, all the different combinations working together to make everything whole.
Absolutely. All of it together. How about you? Why people do what they do. And to have patience.
It helps me to understand why I am the way I am.
Okay. Okay.
I put an understanding who I was and others as well, and everyone plays a role.
Everybody plays a role in understanding who you are. Anita? You just got your feeling hurts because you're an extrovert. Yeah. Shout out, she's an extrovert. She's mad about it still. Ty?
Well, when you said you was going to divide us up by color, I was a little worried.
I'm not even repeating that one. Tim, what was something you were able to get out of tonight?
Well, when we did that test to start with,
Yeah.
I thought I would have said, I had myself pictured as one thing.
Yeah, you turned out to be something else.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
green extrovert.
There you go. Eva? Yeah. Different types of people. I'm going to argue with you on the last part. Abby?
I really didn't know that some people were four different colors. I mean, the color group.
Yeah.
I never looked at it that way and found out what color I was, and I think I probably figured out. Well, I think everybody else on my board is.
Absolutely. What do you think everybody else is, right? David? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. How about you?
Learn where to slow down and where to speed up.
Where to slow down and where to speed up. That's always a good thing, right?
Well, I'm trying to figure out how me as a gold and him as an orange have stayed married almost 30 years.
So I gotcha. I gotcha.
Slow down so I don't have my rear overload my mouth.
Yeah? You say he needs to slow down so his rear doesn't overload his mouth. Absolutely. All right, guys. Thank you again for coming tonight. We appreciate it, all of you guys. Yes?
Susie has an announcement.
Okay, Susie.
Oh, I had forgotten. We have a new exhibit at the depot, and it is for only 15 days. It's about endangered places in Oklahoma.
Okay. So at the Stillwell Depot, they have a new display there, a new exhibit. It's about endangered places in Oklahoma. So if you guys are in the Stillwell area, stop by and see them. Won't cost you anything. It's just a really neat place to be. So stop by and see these ladies. They always have something going on. What's your hours?
Okay, 10 to 4 on Mondays through Fridays. And it's historic places that are deteriorating. And there was a historic place that was bulldozed down just lately. Well, actually,
Two of the places got more than endangered, apparently. It'll be for the next 15 days. All right, guys. Please you guys are welcome to take the folders and everything with you. Please leave your evaluations over here. Thank you again. Thank you, everybody at home. We'll see you guys next time.